Gotta say, Leon Ames and Virginia Field handled that situation like they routinely got held hostage by a crazed killer. Just goes to show when you're horny and thirsty, absolutely nothing can distract you. Now, it's interesting to note that when this film was made, there was no national emergency phone number. It was made up for this film. Back then, you had to dial the operator and ask to be connected to the police or fire department. In fact, it wasn't until 1957 that the National Association of Fire Chiefs campaigned to have the government implement a three-digit number for reporting fires. It wasn't until 1968, however, at the urging of the FCC, that the nation's phone companies chose 911 as the police emergency number for the entire nation. Eerily close to dial 1119, but as far as I know, entirely unrelated. The original story for today's movie was co-written by Hugh King. He had written a similar hostage drama the previous year for RKO, The Threat, in which Charles McGraw, a much more hardened killer than Gunther Wyckoff, holds his intended victims hostage in a shack out in Death Valley. One of those hostages, actor Don McGuire, would get his first screenwriting credit by working with Hugh King to turn the same premise into Dial 1119. McGuire was a quick study. While continuing to work as an actor, he did script work on everything from dramas like Meet Danny Wilson, to musicals like Walking My Baby Back Home, to thrillers like Bad Day at Black Rock. His last writing credit would earn him an Oscar nomination, creating the original story for the 1981 comedy Tootsie. For the record, the shooting script for Dial 1119 was by John Monks Jr., whose other noir-stained works include The House on 92nd Street, Knock on Any Door, and The People Against O'Hara. A couple of actors in today's film should be very familiar to noir fans. Sam Levine was in two classics, The Killers and Crossfire, while Leon Ames was in The Lady in the Lake, The Postman Always Rings Twice, and Angel Face. It's interesting to note that Ames's actual last name was Wyckoff, same as the killer played by Marshall Thompson. Now, the same year she made this film, versatile Andrea King played one of the genre's few female racket bosses in Southside 1000. And lovable, lush Freddie was a fun role for Virginia Field, once touted by Walter Winchell as the most beautiful blonde in the world. The tart tongue she displays here was no act. Field was notorious for her bluntness, whether it was calling co-star Loretta Young a total phony or conking David O. Selznick on the head with a bottle when he made a pass at her. Now, rumor has it that these were only two of the incidents that kept her from becoming a top-tier star. Providing a brief master class on eye acting is the Buenos Aires-born character actress Argentina Brunetti, who played more than 170 vivid bits in movies and TV after making her movie debut in It's a Wonderful Life as Mrs. Martini. And while we're on the subject of martinis, this week marks the publication of Eddie Muller's Noir Bar, cocktails inspired by the world of film noir. That's right. If you enjoy an adult libation while watching each week, this handsome tome is right up your Noir Alley. It features 50 cocktail recipes, many created by yours truly, all connected in some way to the noir films we love. It's a potent and refreshing volume, if I do say so myself. If Chuckles had studied this book, he might have had more and certainly happier customers. See you back here next week for an early noir featuring one of my favorite actors. John Garfield stars with Maureen O'Hara in The Fallen Sparrow. It's part of this year's TCM Memorial Day weekend lineup. Till then, see you in the shadows.